Visit ccgcastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more.
Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Another day, another video, and in today's video we'll be looking at Rayquaza GX with a couple Ultra Prism Pokemons updated with Shaymin and Tapu Koko for even better acceleration. So if you're not familiar with Rayquaza GX, 180 HP Dragon Pokemon with Stormy Winds ability, which says that when you play Rayquaza from your hand on your bench, you might discard the top 3 cards of your deck. If you do, then you can attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to your Rayquaza. One grass, one lightning, one colorless energy, and then you can Dragon Break for 30 times the amount of basic energies, lighting and grass, you have attached to all of your Pokemons in play, which is a lot. And also you can use Tampa's GX and discard your hand and draw 10 cards, which is also an amazing thing. One thing that you actually probably maybe not gonna notice about Rayquaza is the 3 retreat cost. And since everybody these days playing Absol, you might trick your opponent with buff padding, adding your Rayquaza even more HP, for example, but I end up just not playing that kind of type of the deck, because once your opponent exploits your weaknesses, he's just not gonna attempt to play Absol anyways. But since you also have, you know, Zeraora, I guess you don't even need to bother playing that. I ended up with the Wishful button because it's a much useful thing for this Rayquaza deck, because once Rayquaza is knocked out, you can just, if it's active Pokemon, you can just move 3 energies from that Rayquaza to other one and do that over and over again without losing your damage. 3 copies of Grubbin and a Vikavolt for that strong charge once per turn. If you have Vikavolt the strong charger, you can just go with grass and lighting energy attachment to our Pokemons in play. There's a Shaymin for the Flower Storm as a backup attacker with the free retreat, and as a non-GX attacker as a free retreat. Tapu Koko with a Dance of the Ancients, who can also add 2 energies from our discard pile very fast in the game, and also Zeraora for that Tenderest Club zone for the free retreat, and also full voltage GX if it's necessary. For the Drought support and disruption, we have 1 Marshadow and Tapu Lele GX. Moving on to the item cards, we're gonna find 2 energy recycles, so we can recover some of the energies from our discard pile back into our deck. But as long as our opponent is not playing Field Blower, probably we're not gonna need way too much energy recycle anyways. 3 copies of Mystery Treasure and 4 copies of Ultra Ball for the setup, running also 3 copies of Rare Candy, 1 Rescue Stretcher, which might be a little bit problem somehow if you discard it in the early stage of the game with your Rayquaza Stormy Winds, and also 2 Viridian Forests, just for the extra energy acceleration or just for the extra energy meltdown, so we can use that Tapu Koko as advantage as well. But if you're stuck without, you know, specifically grass or lightning energy, we can always get 1 into our hand. But it's also good to discard our opponent's stadium cards, especially those Thunder Mountain stadiums and stuff like that. 8 Drow supporters featuring 4 Cynthias as usual, 2 Erika's Hospitality and 2 copies of Lily, with 3 copies of Guzma and 2 Volkners, who can also help us in this deck to get that extra energy lighting in our hand and that item card like Rare Candy if it's necessary, so we can have that fast Vikavolt evolution play. And that's the deck list that I'm gonna use in today's video, so make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. If you already didn't, let me know in the comments below what you think about it, so see you in the game. Alright, so today on the menu is a Rayquaza deck. So will it be successful deck? We shall see. I think it is probably one of the best deck lists that you can actually end up building it. I mean, it has also Shaymin as a backup attacker. It has also a couple other interesting cards available as well. So we're looking here for Ultra Ball, for some sort of energy, and a Volkner play in exchange for the first Rayquaza GX, so we can actually go with Wishful Button. 1, 2, 3. One Rayquaza discarded. We have that wishful button for that Rayquaza as well, and one huge Lily available in addition to that. So this is end up with a mystery treasure play for Erika's Hospitality, and I'm ready to go with another Rayquaza GX in this scenario. The only thing that actually consider me a little bit is the fact that I don't have another copy of my... I don't have actually another copy of my Grabbin available. So I'm actually letting my opponent to have here basically an option to go for, let's say, higher damage than usual versus my Shaymin. I should go with this energy attachment onto my active Rayquaza, and then I'm just gonna pass the turn. Alright, so it looks strong for the turn 1. We have Rare Candy, Vikavolt, and then Simply Cynthia play, which is decent. In my discard pile, I don't have way too many resources that I lost. One Guzma, and that's pretty much it. Not a big deal. Now, the biggest problem is actually that Zapdos on the other side of the field. 1 price for 2 price. So that's the biggest problem. But still we have that Shaymin that can use Flower Storm and hit for, in this situation, for 90, but even more and more in the future. It all depends how many energies we can have in play. Theoretically, with 6 energies, Shaymin can go up to 180. Adding even more energies, it can even hit for more than that. It's pretty much the same as Rayquaza, but it's baby Rayquaza in this case. Alright, plus it also has for Retreat, which is a good way to start the game. There's the Ultra Ball, which might be for some sort of Guzma play for that Grabbin. But as it looks right now in this specific situation, I already have 3 energies, which means that next turn, getting energy card in play, I'm gonna be able to use my Dragon Break and hit my opponent heavy, basically with that Dragon Break. We also have available option here, which is, you know, right, so he decided maybe to go for that Jolteon. So I'm also running Zeraora ×1 only. So I decided to focus just around Zeraora as a retreating Pokemon and as Rayquaza Tempest GX third 1. Just because I'm running basically also Tapu Koko, which can allow me to add extra acceleration. So this is mainly the reason why I didn't want to tag Shackles in the deck. But I could, for example. Being able to take a first prize card here is a huge thing, especially if he won't be able to attack with his Pokemon this turn. However, there's a Nazball. So yeah, right now he have 4 Pokemons on the bench and 1 in the active position, so I maybe kind of regret the decision where I discarded my Erika's Hospitality. Still, I'm in a good position, especially if he don't have 2 copies of... Oh yeah, so he decided to move on Zapdos in the front. We might see some sort of stadium play. Yep, Thunder Mountain, so he got me there. I lost my Shaymin. But I guess it's better to lose 1 prize card and get some damage on that Rayquaza. Quite obvious. Alright, good top deck. Actually, another Rayquaza. And I can put another Rayquaza in play, but I don't need to discard the top 3 cards of my deck. Then we're gonna go with 1 Strong Charge, attaching one Grass Energy here, and 1 Lighting Energy here. There we go. And then I'm ready to go with my Cynthia. So I'm in a range for the 150. I can go for even more than that. It will all depend. So what about energy attachment right there? And yeah, that's Dragon Break for 180. And this is the moment where the game is starting to be actually the game in my favor, as long as I can find Guzma to pull the 2 price cards versus this Jolteon. Visual buttons will do exactly the perfect job for me, and there's also Zeraora on the other side, so actually with 2 GX Pokemons in play, I can skip that price trade quite easily. So he also grabbed himself a switch. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna need specifically Rescue Stretcher, which is maybe a little bit thinny to play only 1. Oh yeah, Electro Power Energy, so maybe he can actually go up to 180 with Swift Run GX. Ooh, that would be a disaster for me, to be honest. Actually, that would be a huge disaster because, I mean, it depends. He actually decided to go with Energy Attachment to Zeraora, mainly because he still has Stadium in play, and he actually decided first to do some damage with Zapdos, which is actually good for me. Just because in this situation, I'm not in a perfect position, so I'm gonna use another Strong Charge. Trying to get those energies out of the play. And then moving on with my Cynthia, so 1 copy of my Zeraora would be awesome. So I could have that free retreat, and I did get it. Alright, so we can just move on to another Rayquaza, a full fresh Rayquaza, and go with that Dragon Break. Which maybe it's not the best thing in the world, especially if my opponent already has, you know, option to go for the one-hit knockout versus this Rayquaza, but I hope that he don't have. Still, I'm hitting for like 270. And probably right now I'm gonna lose my Rayquaza anyways. And then I'm gonna need this Tapu Lele for Guzma, which I don't have, or I'm gonna need to find some sort to attack with my Tapu Lele. Actually, with my Guzma. No, he just go for the 110. Was that a... No, that was not even a GX attack, so he didn't even want to go with the GX, which kind of surprised me there. Alright, which is good for me, definitely. So we're looking forward for another Cynthia play here, and after that, alright, I'm gonna definitely burn some of the cards that I'm not gonna need. There is a Guzma, but unfortunately it's just impossible for me to get it. So yeah, I'm gonna just attach even more energies so I can hit even harder. Retreat is always a good option, so why not retreat just in fresh full HP Rayquaza for that Dragon Break. I'm not sure why he didn't want to use GX attack, because I wouldn't be able to attack this turn, plus then he could just, you know, knock me out next turn with his Jolteon. And right now I think it's just a little bit too late for my opponent. I think he actually personally made a couple mistakes which will cost him the game here. There's literally nothing he can do. I mean, actually it's not, because right now I can just move those 3 energies, let's say, onto my Vikavolt. And I can just say well played to my opponent, because I have like 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 energies. That's 12 times 3, 360. That's just insane. That's literally insane. So Rayquaza is the heaviest attacking Pokemon in play at this moment. The card that can actually produce the most damage. I mean, there's also other decks that can produce a tons of damage as well, but Rayquaza is just specifically fast card. So we hit for 360, we took the last prize card, and that is a GG. So yeah, he actually made a mistake when he didn't want to go with that GX attack. Personally, I think that was a horrible mistake for my opponent. So yeah, it is a Pika Zekrom deck list, but unfortunately he couldn't get that Pika Zekrom play. Maybe he was actually attempting to go with Tapu Koko GX Iron Trail and then Tapu Thunder GX play. Who knows? It's just hard to be in your opponent's head, but he definitely made a mistake in my opinion. And an interesting tech is also that it's a roller play, which I kinda like as well. And 11 energies maybe seems a little bit too much for this build. Anyways, that is a GG. Alright, so we're back with the game number 2. That game number 1 was actually good. I mean, set up pretty fast. I had that set up at my turn 2 basically into Vikavolt, and I started to produce a lot of damage to my opponent. This opening hand actually looks bad. I started with the Tapu Lele GX, which is the worst possible starter in my opinion. At least I'm starting first, so I guess I can get some useful things here. Looking forward to discard this rare candy for the first Rayquaza GX, and I'm ready to go with Ultra Ball after that. So with the Ultra Ball I can grab Grabbing, and then I can set my Rayquaza in case if I miss energy in a discard pile. Bad thing is that I lost my Rescue Stretcher. So Lily goes for 7. There is another Grabbing and Zeraora as well. And after that, I'm just gonna attach Wishful Button and pass my turn because that's it. Okay, Pulpad discarded with the Ultra Ball for the Tapu Lele as well. So first I'm gonna need to find ways to retreat my Tapu Lele from the active position. I didn't get energy to attachment, which hurts me a lot. But it's okay because I have Walkner, which is gonna be for something like Ultra Ball. Oh, there's even a Viridian Forest in play, kinda like that. There's Zeraora with energy attached. Yeah, that turn 1 and energy misattachment is a big deal. I was hoping that I'm gonna draw 1 Lightning Energy at least with Lily for 7, but unfortunately I didn't. Oh, so retreat into Tapu Lele as well. And it is my turn, so my turn, my top deck, my Walkner play for Ultra Ball and a Lightning Energy, and then we can go for some sort of play like Ultra Ball for 2 Lightning Energies. It actually doesn't seem that bad. It actually doesn't seem that bad just because I have an energy recycle, which I'm gonna play anyways. Alright, so energy recycle system. So I can, recycle some of the resources. Then I can strong charge 2 of my energies into my Rayquaza, and I'm not gonna waste too much time here. I'm just gonna play my next turn. I'm adding 2 energies, and then I can go for like, nah, that's not enough. I guess I need to throw that Cynthia at the end, so I can actually have that retreat and 120 damage. I really want to keep this Guzma just because I really want to attack his Zeraora next turn for the one-hit knockout. And in order to do that, I'm actually gonna need a little bit more resources to do that. So there is a choice, Ben. So if there's gonna be a energy play, and it will be energy play at least with, Tapu Koko GX, he can potentially knock my Rayquaza out, which is not a big deal just because still I'm gonna have those energies preserved anyways. I can even attach them to my Tapu Lele, and then I can simply, hit with the Tapu Lele if it's necessary for like 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, and adding energy from my hand for 200. So theoretically, I could even do that as well. So Plasma Feasts, he got me there, he knocked me out, So I'm moving 3 energies onto my Tapu Lele, all 3 of them. 80, 100, 120, 140. Alright. 140, 160, 180, 200. So perfect. That Viridian Forest actually do me a favor there. So strong charge. I'm gonna add 2 energies onto my Tapu Lele. I'm adding a lot of energies at my Tapu Lele at this moment. Plus I'm also gonna play Volkner, which means that I'm gonna grab myself a Wishful Button plus that energy, just in case if I end up being knocked out. So I can have all of those energies on my other Pokemon available for that Rayquaza. And I hit for 200. And there we go, there is a Lily and a Ultra Ball. And if he can somehow potentially get 2 energies on his Tapu Lele, then he can just knock me out as well. So is that possible for my opponent? I have no clue. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But actually Tapu Lele carrying this game as a big boy right now. And I think Tapu Lele is going to be the MVP in this game. Who would thought about that? I personally wouldn't. Alright, so just still looking to see if there's something else that my opponent can actually do. But no, at the end he just decided to concede. He probably didn't expect to see Tapu Lele being so strong with 7 energies, attacking for like 200 damage. And if he had Stadium in play, then I could go just for barely like 180, which would not be enough for the one-hit knockout versus Aurora. But probably in that case, I would just try to grab myself a Rayquaza anyways. Or maybe just to go with some other plays. But that's the GG. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to hit a thumbs up and sub to the channel for more videos. Let me also know in the comments below about this deck list. So yeah, another standard Zapdos, Jolteon, Zeraora deck lists. So hard these days to play against something else on TCGO because everyone is playing pretty much exactly the same deck. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.